What's going on, YouTube? We are going to talk about Nvidia in this video before earnings tomorrow in the afternoon. Nvidia reports their Q3 earnings, and everybody is watching and waiting, and I think the whole market is waiting. So we're going to start here at the stock chart. I pulled up 2022 here. Well, it's the fiscal year 2022 Q3 earnings, which is end of 2021. So they reported their Q3 earnings and it gapped up to 322 per share, and a couple days later rallied up to almost 350 per share. And now, mind you, right about here in this cluster is when the broader market sell-off began. So Nvidia was trading in this, we could probably call it 290 to probably 350 range, $60 range there. Um, so kind of keep that in mind once we go through some of these numbers here. So I'm when I went through these numbers, I just use 300 for keep it somewhat in the middle. You can do your own math and maybe change it to 330 or maybe even 322 where it gapped up after earnings. But let's dig into the numbers I have over here. So we're going to be looking at the EPS. Let's start at the very first sheet up here at the top. So our EPS in 2022 for the full year, fiscal year 2022, was $4.44 per share. Okay. And then we come down, we have revenue that came in at $27 billion, rounding up a little bit. $27 billion for total revenue for the year. Also, keep in mind too, and over here, the surprise, they never, it seems like their guidance is always low and they always beat on their guidance. All right, so we'll keep moving. We have an EPS estimate of this year of $8.18 per share. 444 divided by the today's EPS, or the forward-looking EPS of $8.18 per share is 46% total growth in EPS from 2022 until today. So if we take the Q4 trading price of 250 is when the Q4 earnings came out, and we divide that by 456, it gives us actually exactly 46%. But Q4 was in the midst of the broader market sell-off anyway, so that number, in my opinion, is not valid for what the company was truly worth at that point in time, right? So we come down here. We know now the revenue for 2022 was 27 billion. The revenue for this year is 44 billion, which is only a 39% growth rate, but our EPS has grown more than our revenues, which is even better to know that they're selling less product but getting where more money is going to the bottom line in terms of net income. So then we look at, if we take fiscal year 2022 and we take the stock price that I said of $300 and divide that by today's stock price, there's only 35% of growth priced in there, which leaves roughly about 11% of upside. And this is based on the current to previous EPS. So we come down here, section 3, I wrote these backwards. If revs come in hot, let's estimate 4 billion more in total revs for fiscal year 24. The EPS would give us an estimate of 1.12 billion more dollars of net income for an additional 44 cents of EPS for a total EPS of 862. That's about 49% growth. So the share price then could reach 447 if they beat. Now, mind you, that's forward looking by 3 months, right? And markets don't typically just look at 3 months. They're looking a year, maybe 2 years out. I think the standard is about 12 months, 12, 15 months out. So then we had 46% EPS growth from fiscal year 22 to fiscal year 24, around 438 for a share price. And then the most important info that I believe Nvidia can kind of give us tomorrow will be what is their what's their guidance? How are supply chain issues? Are they able to keep up with demand? If all those are answered and above and beyond really, then and revenues are just going to explode, which then they can kind of base their EPS off of what their revenues are. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, what they give us for guidance. It's probably going to be good because every single year they give us a low expectations for themselves and they always beat it, which is great. So now let's look if the broader market is going to be looking many, 12 months out. And based on Nvidia, they're probably going to look even further out and they're probably, if Nvidia beats, they're probably going to revise their EPS even higher than where they're currently expecting it. Now, our EPS in 22, which we know was $4.44 per share. EPS in 2025, so next year, is 12. That's a 73% growth from then, which when then, our share price was 300 times 73% is going to be $520 per share forward looking in 12 months. So that's if guidance comes in line with expectations. And almost nobody is expecting Nvidia to fall shy of expectations. But the big question is, what is currently priced in? Is it 2 quarters? Is it 15 months? Is it 2 years? I think that Nvidia can very easily go up to $520 a share, especially if they beat, and it seems like year over year they beat every single time. Look at it. I mean, obviously the market tried to price in the AI hype and all the orders that came into Nvidia early this year, and they still blew expect like they didn't make a ton of money yet because we hadn't seen the the actual orders come in. Now we're going to start seeing those revenues start coming in, which is why this quarter they're looking, I believe it was like $11 billion of revenue this quarter. So that's it down in Nvidia for you guys. Hope this helps some of you, maybe gives some of you guys a little, maybe some direction, maybe confidence, or maybe you're like, oh no, at least I can get this to you before the market closes tomorrow, and then maybe you can make some final decisions on these numbers, and then hey, have maybe run your own numbers and see what you think, and then maybe come up with a price for yourself to buy Nvidia or sell Nvidia or just sit on the sidelines and see what happens. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for me, and we will be back tomorrow with another stock analysis.